3,538 miles. All right. What is up, everybody? This is Scott coming at you, filling in for Blake today. He's working on another video that should have out next week, so I will be doing the video today. We are on the 2017 Honda CBR 1000RR, also known as the Fireblade, and today we are going to be doing a 1-year review, which obviously I did not buy it in 2017. So we're gonna go over the features, the specs, gonna hit on some of the experience that I've had from it, how it feels. Somewhat experienced rider, not great. So first things first, obviously 2020, Honda came out with the brand new 1000RR Fireblade. So this will be the 17 to 19 will be essentially the same bike. So this one we got a 998 cc's, so just under that 1,000, making 189 horsepower at 13,000 RPM, which is just before the red line by maybe 300 RPM. Then also is making about 85 pound-feet of torque, and it's hitting that at about 11,000. And all that power sends this thing to a top speed of 189 miles per hour. Alright. So that 189 horsepower is going to get you up to your 0 to 60 in about 2.9 seconds for this version. This is the ABS version. I believe that the non-ABS is quicker because this one has the controller in it that will reduce your power on initial takeoff. So from what I understand, this one is just ever so slightly slower because of that system. So, but it'll still get you up there under 3 seconds. I'd say that's pretty freaking quick. It'll also do the quarter mile in 10.4. So right from the factory, already a 10-second bike. And unlike the previous versions, this thing has loaded with electronic help. So it's got a torque control, it's got an ABS, it's got a mode selector, have up to 5 modes. The first 3 modes are set modes. So mode 1, mode 2, and through mode 3, which I'm in mode 3 right now. Those are set. They cannot be changed. And from what Honda says, mode 1 is going to be your best mode for the track. Mode 2 is going to be your winding roads, your mountain roads, things like that. And then mode 3, which is what I'm in right now, is going to be your more city driving, you know, driving on the streets, not going crazy. And so each mode, the SP version, you can actually control your shocks also, or your suspension. This is not the SP version, and this one you can only control your power, your torque, and your engine braking. Your power, you've got 1 through 5. 1 is going to give you the most power. That's why when you go to your track mode, which is mode 1, it'll have the most power. Your torque, you've got 0 through 9, and so 1 will be your minimum torque control, 9 is going to be the maximum torque control, and 0, it does have 0, is actually it turns it off, turns the torque control off. And then your EB, if you can see it down there, is your engine braking. And your engine braking has 3 settings, so it's 1 through 3. 1 is going to be the most engine braking, and 3 is going to be the least engine braking. So let off that throttle, what's it going to do? 1's going to give you the most engine braking, 3 is going to give you the least. And so mode 1 is going to be your track. Alright, so if we go through our modes, if we hit mode 1, power is going to be set at 1, torque is going to be set at 2, engine braking is going to be set at 3. So this is the mode that Honda recommends for track riding. We go back up to mode 2, this is going to be your winding roads, your mountain roads, things like that. You're going to have power at 2, torque at 5, and engine braking at 3. And then you go up to mode 3, and that's the one I was in. You got power at 5, torque at 8, engine braking at 1. And beyond that, there's 2 other modes. So the 2 other modes you can have, it's identified as user 1 and user 2. If you got 2 people that use the bike, you can each have your own setting of your specific likes and dislikes. So if I wanted to go up to user 1, right now it's set at 5, 9, and 1. I haven't changed it. And then user 2 is set at 2, 5, and 2. So I haven't changed either of those. This thing wet is 433 pounds, which is impressive. It weighs practically nothing when you're riding it. It doesn't feel like anything. Feels like you're a fluffy cloud, in case anyone has watched Cars 3 and knows what I'm talking about. We'll get back on the road and we'll go over how it feels to ride. We're gonna tell you how it feels riding after 1 year, because I don't know about y'all, but when I buy a bike, I'm not looking for a review from someone that's only ridden the bike for a few hours. I'm looking for the guy that's used it for an entire year, driving a few thousand miles. I don't even know what I'm at, actually. I think I'm at like 3,000 or something. Let's see. 3,538 miles. All right. Let's get back out of here. So, how does it feel to ride? That's what we're all looking for, right? I would say, how it feels, suspension's pretty good. I would say it's definitely a little stiffer. Obviously, looking for a race bike, that's kind of what they were going for, was a streetable race bike. Compared to the other companies, Kawasaki, Yamaha, all that, this is definitely the most streetable bike. I've ridden the R1. I haven't ridden the Kawasaki. However, from people that I know who have, they say it's just like the Yamaha feel, like how it feels to ride. It's definitely smooth. It leans into corners really good. You know, it's pretty easy to kind of flick around. It doesn't feel terrible. But yeah, I mean, overall, I've ridden it in the city, ridden it in the mountains. I mean, it turns in like you wouldn't believe in those mountains. It's really smooth. I would say if you're going to be riding it for more than an hour or so, it'd probably be a good idea to get a more comfortable seat. The seat is definitely rather hard. Feels exactly how a Super Sport should. So like I said earlier, Yamaha, Kawasaki, from what I understand from riding the Yamaha, and from what I've heard about the Kawasaki, from what I understand, they are definitely more focused on the track, more focused on racing, whereas the Honda, definitely the best overall bike. We're talking the best that can do the both worlds. They can be in the street bike, commuting to work, and then also hitting the track on the weekend. For reference, so we got just over 3,500 miles on this thing. I would say 2,500 of that is commuting. You got another 500 of more winding roads, out in the back roads, getting a good feel for that. And then the other 500's more around the city life. So suspension feels good. It can be adjusted. I kind of like where it's at right now. It's not too hard, definitely stiffer, but I like where it's at. I like the feel of it. I would say the rear suspension is a little soft, kind of the way they are together. It's kind of, I say slightly stiffer suspension in the back would probably do this bike wonders. We're gonna go ahead and get on the freeway real quick and do an acceleration for you. From second gear, 30. Yeah, it'll get up pretty quick. Second gear, 30 miles an hour, hitting 80 in fourth, and that was on a very short on-ramp. So up to speed pretty quick, pretty good. As a commuter, which this is what I do, 100 miles a day, commuting on the freeway, I would say about 70, maybe 75 of that is on the freeway. So at speed, really stable. I got no complaints. I don't own the Yamaha, I don't own the Kawasaki. I've only ridden the Yamaha twice. I haven't ridden the Kawasaki, so I can't say whether it is or isn't or this or that. I can only go based off of what I've experienced and what I've been told. For reference, I'm 6'1", about 240 pounds, and I mean it fits really good. Legs fit really well. Yeah, I got no complaints. It's comfortable. I can kind of sit up, one hand on the leg as you're just cruising down the freeway, or you can tuck in, gun it. But this thing can do both. Probably go ahead and turn around up here, head back home, and probably go over a few things I like, a few things I don't. One thing I don't like is the peg, the position of the pegs. I think they could be a little, I guess, a little awkward on the shifter. I think if you put the shifter down a little bit, but other than that, I mean, it's not bad. But I definitely think the peg position and the shifter and the brake could be adjusted just a little bit. I think it's a little far back. I think if you went a little forward, I think it would fit a lot better. You know, not far, just a little forward, a little down, and you got a better feel. I'm not saying I don't like this, but that's just one thing I'm not a huge fan of. What I like is the power band. From what I felt on the Yamaha when I was riding it, the power band was definitely kind of nothing, and then I don't know, maybe 8,000 or 9,000 it kicked in and took off. This one definitely feels like a more linear power band. I think that's kind of what they were going for, was more of a, you know, the best streetable track bike, not necessarily the best track bike. And I think they hit it out of the park. You know, it feels good down low, feels good up top. I mean, it's just overall a great bike. Acceleration onto the freeway again. Another dislike is just the screen, just the way it's in there. I mean, it just looks awkward. It doesn't look like it really fits. It's just this square with the top corners cut off, and I don't know. I definitely didn't think it was that great to start. I still don't. But yeah, I think Kawasaki definitely did a better job with their gauge cluster, kind of how it looks in the bike, not necessarily like how it, you know, operates and looks. Not that there's anything wrong with this. You got the screen, you got your everything you need. You can adjust it a little bit. I know there's a few different options. This is the one I liked best. You can also change the background, so you got white, black, and then this, which is like a carbon fiber. And I definitely think they could have done a better job at making it kind of integrating it into the bike, making it look like it actually fit the mold of, you know, this area underneath the windscreen. Something else I love, definitely got to be the look. I'm not a huge fan of the 2010s when they had the early 2010s and the late 2000s. They had like the bubble lights in the front. Not a huge fan of that. I definitely think they did a much better job with this one. And then of course there's the 600s, and then now the 2020 that has the air intake in the front. Yeah, it's got the air inlets on the sides here, comes in through the front on the sides of the lights, and there's just nothing. I can't complain about this. I love it. I love the look of it. I love how the lights look. Finally got LEDs. I mean, even with taxes and everything on it, was able to pick it up way below MSRP. But that's my review. We're gonna try, Blake and I are gonna try and talk with our local dealers, see if we can get some reviews of the Yamaha, of the Kawasaki. But yeah, that's my review of the 2017 Honda CBR1000RR. If you like this video, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, do everything. Just click all the buttons. Click everything. If it's on there, click it, like it, subscribe. Let me know what you want. I'm planning on a review of the F4i also, which I know it's a little old, but we're gonna review it anyways.